Hi, everybody. So today is Saturday. That means it's time for family movie night. And today we're continuing on our teen movie month. So this is the month where we talk about teen stories and maybe movies that have like a little bit more edge, a little more darker than maybe typically for family movie night. And I've been doing this for years. Usually did it in June, but this year we're doing it in August. So it's super fun. And today we're talking about pretty much a classic when you're thinking of teen dramas. We're talking about 1989's Dead Poet Society. This is directed by Peter Weir, and it stars, of course, Robin Williams as John Keating and a ton of fresh talent that would become stars, including, of course, Ethan Hawke and Robert Sean Leonard in our two lead roles as Neil and Todd, two of the boys. And the whole cast is really strong with great chemistry. It feels like these boys are really friends. I think this is an interesting movie because I think it, for the most part, really succeeds in being a drama about these teens and being the inspirational teacher's movie. But I can understand why some people really don't like it, why it can actually be quite divisive, because it is super manipulative. It tries to push buttons and it successfully does so, but it's whether you sort of resent those buttons being pressed that I think I can see, a pushback from in that regard, particularly a couple things involving Neil's story that I can see being somewhat triggering for people. But I do think overall it succeeds in being the kind of drama that it wants to be. And I think a lot of that comes down to Robin Williams' performance. And there's so many ways that you can kind of look at it and be like, he cannot give this same lecture in every single class. Like, what is this teacher doing? I mean, he does the seize the day, look at it from a different perspective. Like, we're walking around, like literally every single one of his lectures is exactly the same. And it's so like pinpointed to be this particular kind of inspirational teacher moment that it can feel, I think, somewhat inauthentic to people, or they can just feel overly manipulated to people. But if you just kind of go with it and allow it to manipulate you, I don't know, then it kind of works. I don't know. It's an interesting film that way, and I do think it helps for being a film that I watched when I was in high school for the first time. And it definitely hit all those buttons for me at that time, and was something that really moved me. And I'll never forget watching this film in college. I had a friend who was the worst to watch movies with, that she would always just ask all these questions. She could never like let the movie sort of play out. And watching Dead Poet Society with her, every scene. Why are they going in that room? What are they doing? Where are they? Why is he outside? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, just watch the movie. So like, it is one of those movies that you kind of have to give yourself over to it, and its contrivances and its emotional manipulation. You kind of have to let it manipulate you, otherwise you will resent it. But I think that Robin Williams is quite good in this role, playing this kind of likable, inspirational teacher. I mean, it's interesting because, a couple of years later, he would do Patch Adams, which is a similar performance. That's sillier because he was literally playing a clown, but that one feels so off. And I think partly because in Patch Adams, it's like really, it is a very serious thing that he's doing. Like, yes, you want to bring levity into it, but like, it's important that doctors take their job seriously, and that it's not a joke. And I think what he's doing in this movie feels more appropriate to a teacher that is trying to get teen boys to like poetry. I mean, so I think that's a tough task, very tough task to do. And so him like doing all these sort of gimmicks and this cheesiness and everything, like it makes sense for the job, I think, more, his character. And so it's just interesting how sometimes emotional buttons can work and other times it doesn't work. But in this case, it does. And you've got this history of the Dead Poets Society that he tells the boys about, and this kind of secret club, and they start doing it. And I do think that the movie pushes its luck when they have Neil's parents just being so unreasonable. I mean, that they it's not only that he has to stay in school, and it's not only that he has to be serious about his academics, like that's understandable, but no, he has to, his only choice in life is to be a doctor, as if there's like no other valid options in life, like maybe he wanted to be a lawyer, maybe he would want to be a writer, that's like crazy talk. And the idea of somebody doing Shakespeare as wanting to be in a play as being this like absolutely non-negotiable, like we're not even going to talk about it, is just seems crazy to me. Like I I don't know. Like, I mean, but you need it for the narrative to work. Like, you need him to get to this place where there's literally no other options. But there is a part of me that's kind of like, as an adult, I kind of, in a way, resent the fact that the narrative pushed me to that point where I'm understanding why he does this, because obviously, like, suicide should never be the answer, and but it is the narrative answer, because literally they put in this position where it's either military school and become a doctor, or that's it. That's the only choice you have. So what else is he going to do? And and it works because I just think it's all executed so well, and the acting's so good, and so I'm able to go with it, but I can understand why some people aren't willing to go with it, if that makes sense. But yeah, these parents are absolutely ridiculous. This father, especially, like the fact that he won't even talk to his son about being in a play, being in Shakespeare, it is absurd. It's ridiculous, unbelievable. But that is the character. That is the character. I mean, it's child abuse to treat somebody this way. And it's absolutely horrible. And it I mean, they really, really wring those emotional tears out of you for this thing. I mean, it's just brutal. I think that's all I have to say about this movie. I think that it does what it's trying to do really well. I think the Robin Williams is really good. The inspirational teacher is well played, and has so many iconic scenes of Captain My Captain, and the ripping out of the the scale of poetry enjoyment. It's very funny, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Things, all that is good. And I think Ethan Hawke is really excellent here as the more quiet Todd, and seeing what happens to Neil is devastating, and so he's really, really great in it. And so yeah, I think this is a solid teen drama, inspirational teacher type story. And yeah. And so yeah, I think this is a really solid little movie, well made, well acted, and for what it's trying to be, I think it does it quite well. So let me know what you think about Dead Poet Society. Are you one that love it? Are you one that just feels too manipulated, that you don't like it? I can really see both sides on this one. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Check out all of my Teen Movie Month reviews and Family Movie Night. I have a playlist below. I would really appreciate it. And please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. And also check out the Patreon group. That's the biggest way you can support me and everything I'm doing, and be able to do more reviews and get tons of cool benefits. And also we have the merch store, so check that out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later.